Yo. All right, we are back at it. We're gonna keep it real chill. October 1st, first of the month trade recap. So we're gonna go over yesterday's trades and today's trade. Really one and done both days. So very grateful, very thankful for that. And we'll get popping in just a moment here. Let's make sure the technicals are good. So far, so good. Looking good over here. And let's run it up. So you guys know we got to start with the disclaimer slash disclosure. And that is, please note that the following is not legal or financial advice and is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Investing in securities carries a high degree of risk and can result in the loss of your entire investment. You should consult with a qualified financial advisor or legal professional before making any investment decisions. The information contained in this presentation does not constitute an offer or solicitation to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments. Any opinions expressed in this presentation are subject to change without notice and should not be relied upon as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Please do your own due diligence and research before making any investment decisions. All right, now with that being said, we can get into our trade recaps. Let's take a look at starting with the first of the month. We'll head over to the Discord. Now, this was a super quick scalp, very fast trade, was only in it for like a minute, less than a minute. It might have been seconds. So let's just take a look. Shout out to everybody that's in the room right now. Thank y'all for coming through. Let's see who the top viewers are. So Favin01, user 7523489799631. Heart and Soul, user 4387452146174. TC0327 and Drywall Consumer. All right, so far y'all are the top viewers in the audience right now. I've got the Discord loading up. I like to show you guys the receipts showing you when I gave the alert for the trade I was getting into, whether it be a swing trade, a day trade, or a scalp. But Discord is still loading up over here. So we will get into Trading View and start looking at that. So today's trade was on SPY and we scalped some calls. So today was an overall bearish day. The better move to have made for the day was definitely puts, but I did find an opportunity to scalp some calls when I found, or what I believe to be, an area of support. All right, Jeffrey Green, thanks for coming through. Tata, I see you. Is that Quinn? Quinn, thanks for coming through. All right, official bank out, Gregory O. Courtney, what's going on? Thank y'all for coming through. So, wanted to show y'all what the trade of the day was. Essentially, we found a general area on this daily chart. We're looking at the 30-minute chart, but this is the overall day, right? Right around here is where I found support for SPY. And then I scalped some puts just really, really quickly. It didn't play out too much unless you had strong risk tolerance to be able to hold through this drawback and then push up to the upside. But I traded one DTE, so 1 day to expiration contracts. Let's go ahead and pull up. All right, so we're still getting an update up here. If you guys look towards the top of the screen, we're still getting an update for Discord. But in the meantime, in between time, let's start off with a little bit of how the overall trading strategy goes. So if you're new to my Discord, my name is Curtis G, and I do options trading for beginners specifically. So if you're intermediate and advanced, everything that I might talk about during this live, you probably already know. But if you're a beginner and you're just starting out with your options trading journey, then this live is for you and you found the right place. So the first thing that I do each day, just starting off in the very, very beginning, is we want to come and find the pre-market high right there. And then we want to find the pre-market low. Now, for the sake of the live stream and being live on TikTok, I'm just doing it for where it shows visually. But of course, when you're doing this for your live trading, you want to get the exact numbers. Let me get off this magnet. All right, so we got the pre-market high, we got the pre-market low. And then what you want to do is you want to grab where did price open up at on the charts. So right here is where price opened up at. Now I like to change that line to be a blue line. Boom. So we got our first three steps. Let me kind of just big myself up a little bit. Thug Nasty, what's going on? Rolling on your own. JK1234. Green, what's up? What's up? What's up? We got 136 people in the building. You guys run up the likes for me. Run up the likes. Help me out with the likes. I always feed off y'all energy. So the more energy you give me, the more I can pour back into the live. But we're just doing a little bit of a trade recap for the day. So obviously, with everything that's going on geopolitically, the markets have been impacted. It was a very bearish day. But the first thing that we want to do is you mark out the pre-market high. I'm currently using the 30-minute chart, but you can use whatever chart works best for you. And then we mark out the pre-market low, and then we mark where did price open up at. And then as we could tell, let me go ahead and bring that back because we don't want that line. As we can tell, it was very bearish within this very first 30-minute candle on SPY. Insanely bearish. Look how crazy that looks. So here's one thing that you can do, and this is a bit subjective. So if you're new to options trading and you want to get kind of my idea, when you see a strong bearish candle like this, you can actually drop down to the 7-minute chart. This is what I do from time to time. Every now and then, not 100% of the time, but every now and then when I see a strong move to the downside or the upside, all right, I drop down to the 7-minute chart and I take trades from there. Now, I didn't do that today. I didn't do it today, but you definitely could. Look how strong this was on the 7-minute. You could have got on puts and then rode that down a bit, but I didn't do that today. But that's one of my go-to moves. When the candle on the first 30 minutes is extremely strong, is extremely bearish or extremely bullish, you could drop it down to the 7-minute chart and trade from there. But remember, it takes skill. You're still operating with a lot of volatility within the first 30 minutes or hour of the market being open. But we're going to go back to the 30-minute chart. So now we've got this 30-minute chart over here on SPY. We got this first bearish candle that was extremely strong. And then we had another bearish candle right here that was strong as well. A pretty moderate bearish candle, pardon me. And then I noticed that we kind of have some support, right? We have these bottom wicks, but I noticed we had a little bit of support over in this area. So once we had this signal right here, whenever I see price start to go back and forth, right? We got bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish. And then I'll jump in for a quick scalp to the upside. Now, if you had strong tolerance or if your risk tolerance was pretty wide, you could have stayed through this whole pullback. I didn't. I got in, got out, took my money and bounced. But you could have still made some money on the pull up on those 1 DTE or 0 DTE options. All right, we got almost 1,000 likes. Thank y'all for coming through. Tanita Taylor, I see you. Bashir, Lawrence Goldis, Princess, what's going on? What's going on, y'all? So if you just joined the live right now, we're doing a quick recap. All right, so we mark out the pre-market high, the pre-market low, and then we mark with this blue line, where did price open up at? Where did price open up at when the market first opened, which is right here with this blue line. Now, typically, the way that this strategy works is once the first 30-minute candle closes, if it closes below the open, you want to target the pre-market low. If it closes below, if it closes above the open, pardon me, you want to target the pre-market high. But of course, we blast it way below the pre-market low. So what you want to do is you want to find your next levels of support or resistance. Now, in this case, I found support down here. I scalped some calls. I got in and out of my trade, did a quick scalp in these candles right here, and I was done. All right, all right. So if that makes sense, if you guys have been rocking with me, drop a 1 in the chat. We can look at another example. Drop a 1 in the chat. All right, all right. Tasha Nicole, what's going on? Zara, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. 124452, what's going on? Fixed trading, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. So easy scalp. Now let's take a look at yesterday's trade. Yesterday's trade, I did the exact same thing. Exact same thing yesterday. Now we're looking at Amazon 30-minute chart. Let me remove all of the drawings. Move this up. So we do the same thing, and this was yesterday's trade. Let me show you if the Discord finally got all its updates. Jesus. All right, Discord finally got its updates. I've been using everything from my what's the name right now? So if we go to my Discord, I'll let the Discord community know that this was yesterday. I got stopped to exit. Wait, was this yesterday? No. All right, let's go down here. All right, so here was today. Really, really quick. So I'll let the community know that I got in spy calls. This was the screenshot right when I got in. And then I'll let everybody know when I took profits. But let's go back to yesterday. Now, yesterday was a trade that happened extremely fast too, so I didn't really get a chance to alert it. But we're still going to go through the overall concept. So if you're just joining the live, we're doing a trading recap on yesterday's trade. We're looking at Amazon on the 30-minute chart. And then you want to go to September 30th. So we're going over yesterday's trade. And I do the same thing every single day. So the first thing I want to do is I want to mark out the pre-market high. And we're just going to eyeball it really, really quick for the sake of kind of keeping the live, for the sake of keeping the live pretty streamlined. Now, when I mark out my pre-market highs and my pre-market lows, I use a white line. I use white horizontal lines. So we got the pre-market high, we got the pre-market low. And then the first thing that we want to do is we want to also mark where did price open up at. So price opened up right here. I normally change that to a blue line. And we've got our general levels set for the day. So your general levels for the day are the pre-market high, the pre-market low, and then where did price open up at. So we got those three levels right here. And then after the first 30-minute candle closes, that generally will give you an indication of where you want to take your trade, whether you want calls to the upside or if you want puts to the downside. But something very interesting happened right here. Let me go ahead and move over. Something very interesting happened. Why is there so many lines? Lord have mercy with this. Boom. Let's delete this. All right. Bear with me for a second, y'all. Bear with me for a second. We want to delete these extra lines. All right. All right. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. So we got our pre-market high, we got our pre-market low, and then we open or we make a line where price opened up at. Now, normally in this first 30-minute candle, if price closed above where it opened up at, we would want to target the pre-market high for our calls, right? But what do we see in this first 30-minute candle? In this first 30-minute candle, price reached the pre-market high and came back down. And then the second candle of the day was very bearish. We hit the pre-market low. Then we had another bearish candle that stopped down here. And this is what I use. When I see two candles that kind of look like this or this, I kind of use them as support and resistance. Okay, so if you've been on my lives before, you've definitely heard me talk about this pre-market high and pre-market low strategy, but this is the next step. So the next step in kind of evolving or making the strategy just a bit more advanced is notating where do we get our support and resistance levels. And so once I saw that we had a little bit of support down here, the same thing that we did with SPY, some support in this level, we went ahead and scalped some calls to the upside. We scalped calls to the upside and we caught these candles up and we didn't overstay our welcome. Now, the thing about scalping is, in my opinion, now there are some scalpers out there that make a ton of money, but I'm a very conservative trader. And in my opinion, you definitely want to be aware of when price could reverse. So if we got in right about here and we took this up to the upside, but we saw there was also resistance, you don't want to overstay your welcome, right? So we get in and out and we take those trades. So let's show you guys a little bit of the receipts. Here we go. This is my trade today, my trade yesterday, just a few dollars. Now, if you're new and you want to know what my average trade amount is, my average trade is roughly 900 to $1,000. And then I aim for 5 to 10% profits on a scalp. Now, my average trade is about 10 minutes or less. So I want you guys to keep that all in context. I'm using about 1,000. I aim to 5 to 10% profit, and then I get out in less than 10 minutes. That's my general strategy. And I kind of compound my account, or I grow my account from there. Let's go over here so we can see a little bit more. Oh, snap. Wait. My keyboard has died, so I can only use the mouse. All right, Mocha Ray, thank you so much for the likes. Thank you. We're getting close to 2K. We got a few people in the building. Naima Fuller. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Naima Fuller. Thank you so much. All right. So let's take a look right here. So just doing okay. All right. Doing all right. Doing okay. But what I wanted to show y'all was just the real quick on the 1 week, the 1 day, the 1 month. But what we want to take a look at is basically those right there. Now, let me see if I missed any comments, any questions. All right. Thank you. I guess I pronounced that correctly. Thank you so much. I appreciate the follow. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So if you've been in the live so far and you saw me go over Amazon and you saw me go over Spy, drop a one in the chat. All right. Hynesia. I hope I pronounced that right. Hynesia, thanks for coming through. Juan, I see you. What's going on, y'all? But if you've been in the live and you saw me go over these two trades from yesterday and today, the Spy and Amazon, let me know. Dr. 52 trade, of course, we could check Amazon. No worries, says, can you show your all-time Robinhood instead of month? Oh, the all-time Robinhood is terrible. I'm very embarrassed. All right, so I started trading in June of 2020. My all-time Robinhood is not good. It's very, very red. I'll show you guys right now. All-time Robinhood is very, very bad. The all-time Robinhood is terrible. All right, that's the all-time Robinhood right there. Very, very terrible, very bad. But I started trading a long, long time ago. I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money when I first was coming out. And so I want you guys all to learn from my mistakes. So that was my all-time Robinhood. I gave you guys a sneak peek. As much as it's embarrassing, I'm not afraid to be completely transparent and candid. So that's the all-time Robinhood. But there are some things that I've learned on the way, which is I don't trade earnings anymore. That's where I've lost the most money. I've actually had my most profitable trade with earnings, but I've lost the most money with earnings. So I don't do earnings anymore. I don't get into a trade without a trading plan. I don't have FOMO. I do one trade, and if it's profitable, I'm done for the day. If my first trade is not profitable, I'll do one more, and whether that's win, lose, or draw, I get out of it. But yeah, so when I first started trading, I had access to a lot of money, a lot of capital, and I lost huge amounts. We're talking about $3,000 at a time, $5,000 at a time. All right, all right. I know I got a lot going on. Let me see what's going on. Beach Bum 327. Thank you so much. You're exactly right. That is the tuition to pay. All right. Tito 1212 says, how long can we see Spy at open tomorrow? How low can we see Spy? That I try not to do. I try not to predict anything like that. The best thing that I've learned in my trading journey is just to react to what the market is doing. That has helped me a lot. That has really, really helped me. So I try not to have a bias, right? But if you want to get a gauge on how low Spy can go tomorrow, then really all you should be looking at is your support and resistance levels. So if we go to the daily chart and we want to do a top-down analysis, right? So we start off with the daily. As we can see here, we had a very strong bearish day. Looks like it hit a level of support right here. But if SPY was to continue to drop, if it was continuing to drop tomorrow, I would look at, let's see, we have a gap to fill to the downside. So what I would look at, we're looking at the daily chart, is right in this area. Oops. Okay, let's bring that back. All right, so right in this area, we're looking at the daily chart for SPY. We had a question in the chat or in the audience about how low potentially could SPY go tomorrow. And so this is where I would look at if SPY continues to drop. We've got gaps down here that need to be filled on the daily chart, and we could see SPY potentially come all the way down here, all the way to this area if we're looking for a low. So if you're looking for potential highs or lows or where price could go, then the best indicator that you have is charting out your support and your resistance. Support and resistance is really the only or one of the very, very few forward indicators. Most indicators are lagging, right? They only tell us information after prices moved or after something has happened. But support and resistance is one of the very few that could kind of give us a heads up about something that could happen in the future. Again, we don't want to have an overall bias, but we could just have like a low key heads up. So this is where I will be looking for SPY to come down to if we continue to have a bearish day, which we might. Okay, all right. Por siempre, if you're in the building, thanks for coming through. Mocha Ray, thank you for the likes. We're almost at 3K. Can't see the numbers on your HMI. Tito 1212, I'm not too sure what you mean by HMI. Help me out. Are you looking at these numbers right here? So we had a question in the audience about how low potentially could SPY go tomorrow. I always start off by saying we don't want to bias. We're not trying to predict anything. We just want to react to what the market is doing. If I was to look at initial, like where I think price could go, if we continue to have a bearish momentum on SPY, I believe we could come down into this support and resistance zone right here. All right, Raymond Williams, thank you for the lights. Red Dog 03, what's up? I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you. All right, so I forgot who it was that asked the question about will SPY come down to this area or how low could SPY go tomorrow? But if you're still in the chat, let me know. Now, we did have a question in the audience from Dr. 52 Trade about Tesla. I kind of had Tesla on the radar today, but I didn't trade it. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at Tesla. There we go. All right. Project Limitless says, why do you look at the pre-high and after and open as indications? All right. So I look at the pre-market high and the pre-market low as general indications as how the day might go, right? So as we all know, with news of the war and geopolitical conflicts and things like that, it caused the market to be overall bearish today. So we're taking a look at Tesla, right? We'll do the same thing. I didn't trade Tesla today, but this is exactly what I would do. We come to the chart, we mark out the pre-market high. I like to make those lines white, and then we mark out the pre-market low. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to mark out where did price open up at. So price opened up right here. I like to make that line a blue line. We like to make that a blue line. And now what do we see? So on this first 30-minute chart, kind of gives us the vibe. What's the vibes like? This first 30-minute chart came up to the pre-market high, bounced down as that. It came down to the pre-market low, and then continued strong bearish moves down here. Now, when you start to see a strong bearish move like this, if you just join the live, if you just join me right now, what I like to do is I like to go down to the 7-minute chart, and I may from time to time scalp a move right here. So on the 7-minute chart, when I saw that it was very strong, I would have got into puts and then just kind of rode the puts down until I hit my profit target. I usually like to aim for 10% for my scalps, and then I would have got out. But you would have came down here until we start to see a little trouble, right? Once we start to see price kind of shaking around, that's when you would want to get out. So that's the first thing I want to say. But to answer your question, Project Limitless, I mark out the pre-market high, the pre-market low, and then the opening for where price started as the day, just to give us an understanding of what the key levels are. All right. What are the key levels that the market makers are talking about? We saw the strong bearish move down, another bearish move, and then similar to SPY, I may have caught some scalps or puts or calls right up in here. And if you have strong risk tolerance, you could have waited through this and caught a real strong move to the upside. All right. Thank you, Raymond, for the likes. Smoker Ray, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are running it up. We are running it up. I feel like that looks a little weird on y'all end. I don't know how to. Let's see if we can make this better. Hold on. All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better, y'all. Hopefully that's a little bit better. All right, Di, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. So we take a look at Tesla on how we would have traded it today. You had two opportunities. You could have waited for this first bearish candle to end and then caught the puts again to the downside. Or once we saw price starting to shake out a little bit, you could have caught some calls to the upside. So two opportunities there. But if we go to some top-down analysis, and when you hear me say top-down analysis, essentially what I'm referring to is basically going to a higher time frame and then working our way down. Now, just as a starting point, I always like to start with the daily chart. So here we've got our daily chart. It's appearing as we looked at everything. Here's Tesla. We go to the daily on Amazon. Hold on. Amazon's a little bit different. And then we've got the daily on SPY. But we kind of could look at this swing high, right? We've got a swing high on the daily on Amazon, and then we've got somewhat of a swing high starting to form on Tesla. We've got the swing high starting to form on Tesla. So now what I would do is you just mark out your support and resistance levels. And yes, it's a very subjective endeavor to go through, but I see one area for support right here. Obviously, this area is starting to be resistance, and we may see some come down, right? Especially if we got gaps to the downside. We've got gaps to the downside that need to be filled. Okay. Yo, Brandy, thanks for coming through. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank you for rocking with me. Now, if you guys want me to go over, if you just joined the live right now, because I know we got a lot of people coming and going. If you just joined the live right now, you want me to go over today's trade, please drop a one in the chat. Drop a one in the chat if we want to go over today's trade. Drop a one in the chat if we want to go over today's trade. Let me know. Let me know. All right, Natalie's Natura, thanks for coming through. Khalid, what's going on? Midwest Cowboy. All right, we got some ones. We got some ones. Okay, so we're going to go over today's trade. So today's trade, we'll start off with the Discord. And of course, the Discord link is in my bio. You guys could join. Feel free to come through. Now, what I said was to the Discord, I said, good morning, PIU. So my Discord name is Passive Income University, or PIU for short. I tag PIU University. I'm in SPY calls. And if you want to know, my average trade is about 1,000, and I aim for 5 to 10% profits on my scalps. My average trade lasts about 10 minutes, and I get $50 to $100. That's always what I'm aiming for. So I got into these SPY calls for a quick scalp. But what was it specifically that I was looking at? So here we're looking at the SPY chart on the 30-minute, and you can actually do this on any time frame that you want. So if you like the hour, if you like the 15-minute, if you like the 4 hour, or whatever the case may be, I like to trade on the 30-minute. So that's what I like to gravitate to. But the first thing that we do before the market opens is we mark that pre-market low. We get that pre-market high, which is these two white lines. And then when price opens up, we get into where the price opened up at. Now, the smarter thing to have done was once this first 30-minute candle closed and we saw this strong bearish momentum, then you wanted to just take puts to the downside, right? So essentially what we're looking for is, and this is for the beginners, you mark your pre-market high and you mark your pre-market low as potential price targets. And then you mark where the price opens up at. Now, sometimes what we see is once price already blasts past a pre-market low or a pre-market high, you may expect a reversal, or you could plot out potential profit targets. So if we look in this general zone, right? If we look in this general zone on the 30-minute chart, you could have marked this out as a potential PT, this support and resistance zone right here. Now that's exactly where price came down to. And you could have got into puts if you would have kept it very, very conservative. You could have got in and out, or you could have rode this down a little bit. But that's not what I did. That's not what I did. What I waited for, if this will just all right, help me out, is after the bearish move happened, what I wanted to see was where did price start to get a little shaky? And then we got into these candles right here where price got shaky. And so I kind of identified that as a little bit of support. And so I got in right here and I scalped these calls to the upside. Like I said, I'm only looking for a 5 to 10% move on my contracts. I trade with about 1,000, and then I get anywhere from 50 to 100 each trade, and I'm done. I'm just letting my account compound. That's it, bit by bit. But you can use the strategy either way. All you really have to do is mark out your pre-market high, mark out your pre-market low, make sure you chart out where price opened up at, and then use those levels as potential profit targets. All right, Jean Day, I hope I pronounced your name right. That's XIONDAY. DAE, Jean Day, thanks for coming through. Rags to Crypto. Is that Rennie Felician? Hun, Sean, thanks. What's up? So we got to take a moment to show love to the top viewers that are in the chat. So we got Walter 2024. Thank you so much. Isaac Banks 72. Crook, Move to Win. All right. We got Rico Gallo. We got Naima Fuller. We got Raymond Williams 5709. We got the Fast and Curious, the Tropical Thinker. Pierre, what's going on? All right. We got G Patel 84. We got SA or Samortiz 549, J Money Beats, Raynard Guess, Dusty Banyan 495, Eris J, what's going on? I see you. Bobo, Major Todd, Donnell Evans, King Duh. All right, we got a lot of people in here. Sean, Mr. Larby. Thank all of y'all for rocking with me right now. Thank you all for rocking with me. We're just going over a few trades. Pierre says hi. I see you in the chat. I see you in the audience. So if you're just now joining the live, very, very simple strategy for all the beginning options traders out there. My name is Curtis G. I focus on options trading for beginners. And so what you can do is mark out your pre-market high, mark out your pre-market low, and then mark where the price open up at. And then you can target either the pre-market high or the pre-market lows for your trades. If price closes above where it opened up at on that first 30-minute, you could target the pre-market high as your calls or for your calls. If it closes below the open, then you want to target the pre-market low for your puts. But as we see here, we had a strong bearish candle, a very, very strong bearish candle that happened. So even with this, because we're beginners, right? If you're new to trading, if you're new to options trading, you want to let this first 30-minute candle close. And then what you could do is, what I like to do from time to time is just come on down to the 7-minute chart, right? We take that 7-minute chart. And then once the first 30 minutes of the market closes, which is, let me double check. Let's move this up. First 30 minutes of the market is right here. This is what I like to do too. So if you see a strong move, either bullish or bearish, and the first 30 minutes of the market kind of goes down, you could get in on that 7-minute and catch that ride down as well. All right, Ryan Fisher, thanks for coming through. Aisha, what's going on? Javi, I see you. Marcus, what's going on? That boy Jev. I appreciate y'all for coming through. So a really easy strategy. And the dope thing about it is you can add any other indicators if you want more confluence or more confidence. So we mark out the pre-market high, we mark out the pre-market low, we mark out where the price open up at. But if you like to use an an EMA, you could throw that on there. If you like to use a MACD, an RSI, a VWAP, or whatever the case may be, you can include that with this strategy to give you more confluence and more confidence. So my goal is just to give you guys information straight up and down. Of course, if you want more info, if you want my live trades, you guys could join the Discord. The Discord link is in the chat. I put all of my trades in here, win, lose, or draw. And then I put my weekly recaps and I put my monthly recaps. So this is for the month of September. I put all my trading confirmations, as you guys can see. I put them all in here. And then each week, at the end of each week, I go ahead and I put my trading confirmations. All right, so here are my trading confirmations. I put them in week to week, as you guys can see. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So win, lose, or draw, whether I'm profitable for a given week or day or month, or I'm not profitable if I lose a trade or whatever the case may be, you guys can see it all. And there's a few places that you guys can check me out, right? So depending on what platform you like the most, I'm going to show you guys a couple of places where you can get information. Of course, please follow me on TikTok. That would be the number one thing. I primarily go live on TikTok, but if you wanted more info and if you wanted to take a look and kind of study my screenshots, look at my trades, look at how I'm doing, you can head over to Twitter or X, and then you can look for my username, which is at the Curtis G24. So you can head over to Twitter and check out at the Curtis G24. That is where I put all of my screenshots and everything like that. So here's my profile, as you guys can see. And then I put the screenshots to everything here. So everything goes right here on my Twitter, win, lose, or draw, all my trading confirmations, all my charts, everything like that. It goes here. Of course, some memes, my weekly performance, weekly trade confirmations. Everything is right here. I use TradeZella, which is a trading journal platform. You could connect it directly with your broker. And so any trade that I take is automatically logged in TradeZella. And then I put that in here as well. So you guys could go over there. Now, if you're very, very new to trading and you want something more formal, you could go over to YouTube. If you guys head over to YouTube and go look for my YouTube channel, which is Curtis G24. So I pretty much have the same username on a bunch of different platforms. But if you go to Curtis G24 on YouTube, let me bring this up. If you go to Curtis G24 on YouTube, here's my YouTube channel. I put all of my trading recaps here. So if you ever wanted to go into the past and kind of see all of my trades, here's what it looks like. I put all my trading recaps on YouTube going back for a long, long time. Win, lose, or draw. You guys can all see my evolution as a trader. You can see my strategy, everything like that. So if you want something that you could just put on and study and make notes on, head over to YouTube, Curtis G24. All of my trades are in here. Every time I take a trade, I do a recap and then I upload the video to YouTube so you guys could all check it out right here. Thank y'all for the likes. We hit 5K, going for 6K right now. I appreciate you, Mocha Ray. I appreciate everybody that's dropped them likes. Gina, I see you. Henry Flores, what's going on? Manuel, thanks for coming through. But like I said, you could head over to my YouTube channel. I put all of my trading videos, all of my recaps in here. And so that's the long and short of it. So I'm hoping for those of you that have been in the live today that I gave you a little bit of value. We went over my overall trading strategy. I'll give you guys the bare bones one more time just so you can see it. It essentially looks like this. All you got to do each day is mark out your pre-market high. Let me go back to the 30-minute. All right. So you mark out your pre-market high. We're looking at SPY right now. Why does that look so crazy? That's because we're not on the current day. All right. So all you got to do each day, mark out your pre-market high, mark out the pre-market low. This needs to come down. I don't know where that was coming from. And then mark out where did price open up at. And then depending on where that first 30-minute candle closes, if it closes below the opening price, you want to target the pre-market low. If it closes above the opening price, then you want to target the pre-market high. Now, when we see strong candles either to the upside or the downside like this, then, and I know this is very subjective, I understand. And this is where you kind of get your intuition, your spider sense. This is where you get better as a trader. But if we start to see very, very strong candles like this push to one side, what I like to do is drop down to the 7-minute. I like to drop down to the 7-minute. Where is it at? Jeez. All right, so we drop down to the 7-minute, and then we could go ahead and catch that move before it starts to round out. So right here, I would get into puts, and then we could just ride the puts on down, ride them on down, boom. And then depending on what you want to get shaken out by, what you want to stop by, what your PT, what your profit targets, that's what you can aim for right here. All right, so I hope that made sense. Raymond Williams, 5709. Thank you so much for all the likes. Got us to 6K. Big shout out to Raymond Williams. Big shout out to Mocha Ray. Appreciate all of y'all. Let's show some more love to the top viewers. We got Walter 2024 still in the building. Isaac Banks 72. Thank you for rocking with me. Crook, I see you. Naima Fuller, what's going on? Rick Gaio, Raymond Williams 5709. The Fast and the Curious, what's going on? Tropical Thinker. I see Pierre in the building. Sean, user 5767620532326. Ahmed, the G Patel 84. Q, the Elevated Eagle, Thang Tran, and Inderjit Kalan 35. Now, of course, if you guys have those, shoot me a DM or whatever the case may be, and then I can answer those questions for you. But I just wanted to tap in as we're starting the first day of the month, the first day of the quarter. We got some crazy geopolitical news. So you just want to be a little bit more conservative with your trades. Don't hesitate to keep your trading plan. Remember that. Plan your trade and trade your plan. That's going to protect you, and that's going to guide you through these markets, through all this volatility. I appreciate y'all rocking with your boy, and I'll tap in with y'all soon. All right, peace.